Let's start off today's presentation. Once again, my name is Ed Zamora, and today we're going to be going through the college prep program. So for seniors right now in 24 spring, we're going to be addressing all the things you need to be doing between now and essentially when you drop your student off at college, all the different nuances, the forms, and everything else you need to get done at this point in time. Today's outline, let me just give you an idea of all the stuff we'll be addressing. We will be addressing essentially the legal paperwork you need to get done before your student gets dropped off at college, the FERPA form, the Hippa form, dealing with certain things that you want to make sure to get certain paperwork done. So legally, you guys are okay across the board. For checking grades, for any hospitalization issues. I'm also going to be addressing how to read your financial aid award letter when hopefully they do come, which I'll be addressing the issues with the FAFSA right now and all delays and everything happening. So I will be addressing that as well today. I'll also be addressing the federal and state loans, different loans out there you guys can utilize to help pay for the college itself, as well as the paperwork necessary for the federal loans, such as the match of promissory note, the entrance counseling paperwork, and so on and so forth. I'll also be addressing continuing scholarships for students after year one. So obviously you guys senior students right now in high school, going off to freshman year, first year, but there are additional scholarships for some schools after your student gets through the first semester or first year for year number 2, sophomore year, junior year, and even senior year. In some cases, there are more scholarship funds available. I will be addressing that as well. I'll be addressing how to figure out future college costs and figuring out your financial situation based on these things, as well as what you should be doing or looking at if you've been waitlisted or deferred or unfortunately rejected. Also, if you guys have to jump off of this presentation at any point in time early, in the top right-hand corner of every slide is my email. If you guys need to email me, if you guys have to jump off, you can always email me later if you have any questions going forward. Now, all that being said, let me once again, I know most of you guys have already seen this and know about this, but we do have the YouTube channel. This is also, this actual entire presentation will be on the YouTube channel in the next day or so after I edit it. If you guys are looking for additional college help or any assistance on the FAFSA form or figuring out what's going on, literally every week I'm posting videos about what's happening with the FAFSA that are in review, the FAFSAs that can't get through, the FAFSAs that have been processed but you can't do any editing or adding colleges to it. I have videos about all the stuff going on. So if you guys haven't already subscribed to the channel, if you go to YouTube, just type my name in, Ed Zamora. I put stuff on YouTube literally every week about what you guys should be doing. Not just seniors, but juniors and sophomores and everybody in the world of college. I'm always posting videos on here, mostly based on the questions you guys ask me either doing the presentations or the questions you guys ask me through the YouTube channel or the email or cell phone number I'll give you guys here at the end. But also on the YouTube channel is our scholarship fund, which we are still running our scholarship fund called the James Russo Memorial Scholarship. So if you're interested in our scholarship fund or getting more information about the world of college and how it works, once again, our YouTube channel is a great resource. I put a lot of stuff out there for you guys to help you guys not only get scholarship funds, but also understand everything that's going on in the world of college. Now, that being said, let's address the first issue that pretty much every senior family is dealing with right now. Now, if you've been holding off or waiting for the FAFSA form to become available when it's fixed and so on and so forth, I would not be waiting. If you haven't already done the FAFSA form, the first thing I would be doing is logging into the website right here, studentaid.gov, creating both a student and parent FAFSA ID, which can be done here, then starting the FAFSA form as the student, then connecting it to the parent. If you don't know what I mean when I'm saying the FAFSA IDs or connecting the student's FAFSA to the parent's FAFSA, then on the YouTube channel, I have the step-by-step guide to completing the FAFSA form correctly, because many families have been doing this incorrectly because there is no directions on how to do this, unfortunately. So if you need help, once again, if you haven't done the FAFSA, go onto the YouTube channel. I have the step-by-step guide to get the FAFSA form done. If you want to just do it on your own, perfectly fine. This is the website you need to go to, especially if you haven't done the FAFSA yet. You need to do the FAFSA immediately because you're technically running out of time here. Now, that being said, let's address the issues happening with FAFSA right now. Now, if you guys, as most of you probably already know, had done the FAFSA in January or February, the site kept crashing. So what happened was, if you were lucky enough to get your FAFSA through, what you noticed is your FAFSA was stuck in what's known as in review for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. Typically, when the FAFSA gets reviewed, what happens is it only takes about a day or two, maybe 3 days max if it gets done on a Saturday or Sunday kind of thing. The reality is this year, the U.S. Department of Education has had many, many issues with the FAFSA. It keeps crashing. They're still having issues going forward, but they're resolving them every Sunday because if you watch our videos, you know that every Sunday the FAFSA does updates and maintenance on Sunday morning, typically ends around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And that's when they put in all the new stuff into the FAFSA, hopefully fixing some of the errors and issues they've had before. So if you just did the FAFSA, literally for the first week or two, you're going to see that exact white box you see there. As you can see here, the video, this is actually a screenshot of the video that I have on YouTube right now, explaining what it means when you're in review. So if you just did the FAFSA and you're in review and you've been in review for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and you're wondering what's going on, this is normal. I know it's not actually normal, but it's normal for this time of view, this point of view, from the fact that the FAFSA is still having issues. So let's just say you did the FAFSA already, you got through a review, and now you're in processed. So what does the new process mean, or what's the new situation mean when they say you're processed? Well, as many of you already know, as you can see down there at the bottom of the screenshot I took from our video from YouTube, because you can actually go on YouTube once again and watch these 2 videos explaining what it means to be in a review and explaining what it means to be processed. But if you go on the FAFSA forms now and you see it says processed, but then you see that red box down there, it says check back for corrections. It basically means you're just now in a different waiting pattern. So you're out of review, which means the FAFSA has been processed, which means at some point in time in the next few days, the schools that you put on the FAFSA form are going to be granted access to be able to draw in your FAFSA to be able to provide you financial aid award letters. Now, being in processed, if it also shows that red box I showed down there at the bottom of the screenshot here for the YouTube video where it says check back for corrections, it basically means you can't do anything. So if you're looking to make changes to your FAFSA, adjust incomes or assets, or if you're looking to add more colleges to it, you can't do anything, unfortunately. The reality is it's just another holding pattern. One of the big issues that we've had last week is just basically on Friday of last week, news came out that the U.S. Department of Education incorrectly calculated a few 100,000 FAFSAs. So they had to go back in there and fix the error they made and then allow the process FAFSAs to be open again for you guys to be able to edit them. So if you're going in there and you're wondering, I can't add the schools, what do we do? Don't freak out. I know everyone's freaking out because I'm getting multiple phone calls and text messages and emails. Everyone's freaking out because they can't make any changes. Every school knows this is going on. All of them, from Harvard to county and every school in between, they all know the issues everyone's having. So they keep pushing back the deadlines for deposit. They also keep pushing back the deadlines for the FAFSA to be submitted because they realize they can't even open the FAFSA at many colleges now. That being said, though, if you haven't done the FAFSA, get it in immediately. Once again, if you need help, you can email me at the top of the screen. Here is my email, or you can watch our guides on FAFSA, or you can watch these 2 videos explaining where you are in the process after you log into your FAFSA and see, am I in review or am I in processed, what it actually means. You can watch both the videos on YouTube. I'll explain further in the videos kind of what's going on. Okay. Now, all that being said, let me give you, now that we got the FAFSA stuff out of the way, because the FAFSA stuff is obviously a big deal, because most of you are here watching the video because of the fact that you're trying to receive financial aid assistance of some kind. Now, let me explain what will happen from here on in. First thing that's going to happen is once the schools are granted access, which should happen in the next couple of days, the next thing that's going to happen is the schools are going to take your FAFSA information and start providing you what's known as financial aid award letters. These financial aid award letters are basically showing what the college is willing to offer your student if they attend that college. Now, a lot of you guys contact me and you guys are kind of confused between 2 different things here in the world of admissions and college financial aid. When you guys got accepted, you guys got an acceptance letter. And sometimes in the acceptance letter, it says, here's the scholarship money we're giving you. That is not the award letter. There will be another letter after the acceptance letter with the scholarship money called the financial aid award letter, which provides you the grants, the scholarship money, once again, basically telling you what you got again, the loans, and the work programs. So the acceptance letter just says, you got accepted, here's scholarship money, if they give it to you. The award letter, which will be coming after the process of the FAFSA, will be giving you all your financial assistance information, loans, work programs, grants, scholarships, all of it. Now, the way it works is when you guys get that award letter, they're also going to start sending you information about depositing. Now, if you guys are a little bit, nervous because of the fact that National Deposit Day, which is typically May 1st, when you're supposed to make a deposit, is obviously creeping up pretty quickly, don't worry. A lot of the schools are pushing back their national deposit day to May 15th, some even June 1st, basically saying we're giving you more time to be able to deposit with our college. If you're getting close to that May 1st deadline and you still haven't got financial aid and you're worried and you need financial assistance to make a decision, very simple. Call the school's financial aid offices and admissions offices and ask them, has your admissions deposit required date of May 1st been moved back? If it hasn't been moved back, can we get an extension? Pretty much every school is going to give you extension, by the way, now because of everything going on with the world of FAFSA. So if you need more time, you can get more time. In many cases, schools are already giving you more time. Now, within the acceptance packet of getting accepted and the scholarships and the award letter coming in showing you what you're getting, they're also going to send you guys information about health insurance and payment plans. Now, the health insurance and the payment plan stuff usually comes around the beginning of June. Between June 1st to the 10th, you guys will get the bill for the school as well as the health insurance information. Now, what I mean by the health insurance information is every school by law must provide you health insurance. Now, some of you guys already have health insurance, obviously, for your student. If you already have it, you can waive the health insurance through the college. If you don't waive it, though, they do not know you have health insurance. So if you have health insurance, when you get the bill, there will be a waiver or directions to do the waiver online. You got to do the waiver. Because what happens is if you don't do the waiver and your student steps foot on campus for literally 1 minute of the fall semester, you're already charged for that health insurance. And some of these health insurances for the academic year, because they charge it up front, could be anywhere from $3,000 to $6,000 extra. Even if you say to them the next day, we don't need the health insurance, too late. You've already been charged the cost of the health insurance. So you got to do it before they step foot on campus. Okay, so it's a very important thing to know. Also, with the bill you need to understand is not the whole year bill. The bill they're going to send you is just the semester bill. So if your student has a fall, spring semester college, it's just the fall bill. If you want to kind of figure out what the whole year bill is going to be, take the fall bill, multiply by 2, there you go. If it's a trimester or a quarterly school like SCAD or a school like Drexel, which doesn't use a traditional fall spring but has different quarters or trimesters, 3 different semesters, let's call it, then obviously you multiply by 3 or 4. That's essentially the way to kind of do it. Now, when it comes to the bill, when they send you the bill, you will have options. It's not just pay the full bill amount and you're done. You can obviously take out a loan, which I'll talk about loans in a moment. Whenever you're taking out loans, by the way, I always take out loans for the whole academic year. Some people ask, should we do the loan for fall and spring or just fall and then do the spring later? Don't do that. Just do the whole loan for the whole academic year. In addition to that, they will have payment plan information within the packet of billing that's sent to you in June, which means you can pay the whole fall semester all up front, one shot, credit card, check, cash, etc. Or you can also do payment plans. All the colleges have payment plans. Most of the payment plans are basically 2 different types. You're going to do an 8-month payment plan, so 4 payments fall, 4 payments spring, or you can do a 10-month payment plan, 5 in the fall, 5 payments in the spring. So you do have options of paying this back depending on your situation. And by the way, all this information I'm talking about here, I also have videos about all this stuff on the YouTube channel as well, in more in depth, obviously. Now, we talked about the FAFSA. You got to get it in, you got to get it done, got to get it out of the way. We talked about the delays and everything going on, so don't worry, everyone understands it's the situation going on. The next thing you need to realize is, in one of the videos I just put up just last week, the FAFSA that's been processed, if you're looking at the FAFSA form to get in-state tuition help, in-state grant money, basically. So if we're a New Jersey student, we have what's known as HESA. If we're a New York student, we have what's known as HESC. Pennsylvania has PHEA. California has Cal Grants, and so on and so forth. There's 8 different states out there that have additional consideration of aid for in-state students at state that other states do not have. Now, the FAFSA form took away the state question. However, you still want to go to the state and check to make sure your FAFSA has been transferred over correctly to them. So, New Jersey students, we're going to NJFAMS, which is a division of HESA, HESAA. So HESA runs all of the New Jersey aid stuff. Their division, NJFAMS, is the division that provides and sends out all the grants and scholarship money provided to in-state students who stay in state. So what you'll be doing now, depending on the state you're in and you reside in, if your student will stay in state. So if I'm a New Jersey student and I'm considering Rutgers, I want to check to see, am I getting in-state tuition consideration? Am I getting the Scarlet Guarantee? Am I getting tag grants from the state of New Jersey? Am I getting any help? Very simple. I create an account through NJFAMS and I go on there through HISA and see, after I create the student account, do I need to do anything? Do they need a tax return from us? Do they want W-2s? Sometimes they want stuff from you through a process called verification. It's usually small stuff like a driver's license or a W-2. But if you are being verified, there's 3 different people verifying you. Federal government could verify you. The school could verify you, or the state can verify you. An easy way of kind of circumventing this situation and just going right into it and figuring out, do we need to send anything? Are we getting extra aid? Very simple. Go on to NJFAMS. Basically, you can just go NJFAMS or you can go HISA. Either one will take you to the site you need to go to and create an account for your student. And they're also going to show you if they need anything from you, or if they don't, what aid is available if you stay in state. Now, obviously, there's other forms in this entire process besides the FAFSA form or the state of New York form or the state of Pennsylvania form or the state of New Jersey form. There also is a form called the CSS Profile form. Now, if you're new to this whole process, I know it's still overwhelming after you pushing your student through the first senior through to college, but you need to double check with the financial aid offices by calling them and asking them, do you have all the financial aid documentation at this point? If you don't, which forms do you need? Because once again, some schools still can't access the FAFSA. But if you say, call the school and they say, we only need the FAFSA, and you know you sent it back in January, February, and you go into your student's FAFSA and shows the school's name or where it's been sent to, nothing to do. But if the school says, we need the FAFSA and the CSS profile through College Board, and you know you didn't do the CSS profile, you got to go on College Board and complete that second form for that school to provide you financial assistance. Now, obviously, if you are getting verified on the federal, state, or institutional level, which is the college, they will notify you and they'll tell you. So it's always good to also, when you call them, not only ask which forms do you need, also you can ask them, are we in verification? Do you need our tax stuff? Do you need our W-2s, 1099s? It's good to get this stuff all out of the way because obviously with everything going on, we're quickly running out of runway before the summer here where you have to make a decision. So it's better to send them stuff early on now if they're missing something rather than waiting for them to send notification for you to send stuff in, because the closer you get to National Deposit Day, whether they're moving it to May 1st or May 15th or June 1st, you want to make sure you get everything out of the way so you have time to negotiate, time to figure out financially, do the school list we're looking at, do they make sense? Where do we want to deposit? Where do we feel comfortable? Where do we not feel comfortable? Academically, financially, socially, etc. Now, let's talk about an award letter. When they do come out, hopefully will be coming out soon for all the schools, hopefully next week or so. When you guys get an award letter, I have a copy of one here from about 20 years ago, and I keep using the same letter because the reality is they don't change. They're all the same. They've been the same for decades and decades and decades. That being said, on the award letter, it's going to show you a lot of very good information, and you want to make sure to go through all of this, and I'm going to explain to you how I go through a financial aid award letter when I get a parent sending me one of these things. First thing I'm looking at is they're going to tell you their expected cost, the amount they're going to cost from a cost of attendance perspective, which means all the cost, room, board, books, transportation, everything. Everything cost-wise for my student will show up there on the cost of attendance. Next, it's going to show me what the student aid index number is, which is the new term for the expected family contribution number. That's going to tell me and show me basically what they think we can afford to pay based on the financial aid forms, FAFSA, CSS, institutional forms, etc. That's going to then reduce it down to a number known as the financial need. The financial need is essentially what this college is supposed to help us with in scholarships, grants, loans, and work study. Now, underneath that, every letter is going to break down what they're giving you, how much the school is giving you in grant money, if you're getting any Pell Grants from the federal government, if you're getting any SEOG from the federal government, Supplemental Educational Opportunity Grants. Am I getting federal loans? Do I want to take the federal loans? Am I getting work study, a work program I work at the college, part-time, couple hours a week, my student, to help pay for the college stuff like the books, miscellaneous expenses, so on and so forth. You want to look this over to make sure, am I getting enough? And if you're not sure if you're getting enough, then you need to make sure to do the school's net price calculator, which I'll mention now and I'll talk about in a moment, to figure out how much should the school be giving us to begin with, and are the numbers in line from what their net price calculator is saying versus our award letter. Also, when you get the award letter, this is when it starts the process of appealing. Now, when you are appealing, I have multiple videos on the YouTube channel, the latest one from about a month and a half ago, about how to appeal properly. Because there's two ways you can appeal, which breaks down into even more categories of appealing. You can appeal scholarship money and you can appeal grant money. Typically, you always, in most cases, want to appeal all scholarship money through the admissions office. And when you appeal scholarship money, you typically do it through the student. When you're appealing grant money, financial aid need, typically through the financial aid office, through the financial aid forms or change in circumstance, like a job loss, unemployment, death in the family, these kind of things, the parent should be doing that appeal. The student should be doing the admissions scholarship appeal. That's kind of how you guys should be divvying up the workload here of looking to do any appeals. Now, once again, appealing on the admissions side for scholarship money, I'm always appealing scholarship money. Even if the college says to me, we don't accept appeals, I'm still sending an appeal for scholarship money to see if there's any kind of like small amount you'd be willing to offer us here, any increase at all to make it a little bit easier for us to decide on your college or not. The financial aid office, there has to be a financial difference. So if you fill out all the financial aid forms and the school costs, let's say, $80,000 a year, and all the financial aid forms say you can pay $40,000 a year, and the school is giving you $40,000, so the financial aid forms say you can do 40, the school is giving you 40, it costs 80, that's 80,000 between you and them, they're not going to accept any financial aid appeal at all. As far as this school gave us more, can you give us more? They're not going to hear that. They need to see a change in financial circumstances, a drop in income, job loss, medical expenses, something affecting your financial position to be able to address any appeals in that category. Admissions, they don't need anything. It's basically just, you guys gave us X, Y, and Z. We want more. Can you do more? Now, obviously, if you want more insight in kind of how the whole thing works and more, I guess, the right terminology, vocabulary, once again, on the YouTube channel, I have who applies for financial aid and how on the YouTube channel. So you guys can watch that video. It's about 10 minutes long, but I go very in depth about how to appeal properly. Now, all that being said, let's talk student loans, because obviously we talked FAFSA situation, we talk award letters, a bunch of other stuff. Let's start going a little bit deeper into the loan process. Now, when it comes to the loans, all students, once you guys fill out the FAFSA form and get it out to the schools, will all be offered $5,500 in federal loans. All you need to do basically for that is fill out the FAFSA form, and they automatically offer that $5,500 loan to your student. Years 2, they're offered $6,500. Years 3 and 4, they're offered $7,500. Now, when it comes to the loans, you must fill out 2 documents to be able to get the loan funds: entrance counseling paperwork and master promissory note. Both of those forms are filled out on the studentloan.gov site. When you go on here, you can click on login. You log in using the student's login information for the FAFSA. So the FAFSA form, FAFSA.gov, and studentaid.gov and studentloans.gov are technically all the same website. So you use the student's login for the FAFSA to log into all 3 of them. And that's where you fill out the student's entrance counseling paperwork and master promissory note. For those, I also have videos, step-by-step guide to fill out those 2 forms on the FAFSA form as well. On the YouTube channel as well. Now, all that being said, let's go a little bit further in depth with numbers. When it comes to the federal loans, specifically the $5,500 federal loan you're getting for your student, that loan's in the student's name only. It has nothing to do with the parent. So it doesn't show up on the parent's credit score at all. Now, this loan typically breaks down into 2 categories: subsidized and unsubsidized. The subsidized portion of the FAFSA loan, federal direct loan, basically what that means is that there is no interest on this portion of the loan. The unsubsidized portion of the loan is typically there is interest. It basically is growing at a rate of 5.5% on a daily compounding basis. Now, how do you know which one is which? Typically, what happens is of the 5,500, 3,500 is typically subsidized, interest free, which means the government's paying the interest while the student's in school up to 6 months after they graduate. That's when the interest gets tacked back on. The unsubsidized amount, which is typically $2,000, is growing from the beginning at the 5.5% rate. You can say to the US Department of Education, to the schools, and so on and so forth, I am willing to take the interest only loan and I'm declining the interest bearing loan. You can do that. You can choose one or the other, or you can take both, or you can decline both. But you need to realize, though, it must be offered to you because it's a federal entitlement. Now, in addition to that, you also have what's known as the Parent Plus loan. If you're looking for additional loan help to help pay for your student's college education, the Parent Plus loan is a loan through the parent only. So the student has nothing to do with this. The Parent Plus loan, unfortunately, their interest rate starts at 8.05% and starting from day one that you take it. So that's compounding at 8.05%. So it is pretty high as far as interest rates, as far as loans out there. But it is an option for you guys if you're looking for more loan assistance. Both these loans, information, documentation for both, can be located on studentloans.gov. Now, that being said, let's talk about other options. Now, if you guys are looking for loan help and you need assistance and you think the 8.05 is too high, very simple. If you email me roughly around middle of June, around the 15th to the 20th or so, I put out the preferred loan list. I basically just email it to anyone that asks me for it. And what that is basically the top 5 loans based on interest rates, terms, and conditions. So I just put the 5 up there. I just send it to anyone who wants it. A lot of parents ask me for help with the loan stuff, but the reality is no one can help you with the loan stuff because they only ask like 9 questions. The questions are basically, what's your social security number, name and birthday to figure out what your credit score is? And are you working? Are you not working? Where's the student going to college? And how much do you need? That's pretty much all the questions they ask. There's no real nuance or magic to filling these things out. It's basically your credit score will dictate if you're getting a good rate or not so good rate, basically the way it works. But if you email me or text or call me, I do provide the list to every parent because I typically know by June 1st, I already know who's the top 5 loans based on the interest rates they're all telling me, because I know most of these guys because I go to most of the conferences and I pick up all their stuff and they're telling me the rates going forward for that academic year. Okay. Now, all that being said, let's talk about, we talked about FAFSA, what's going on, award letters, what we should be doing now financially, appealing, how the loans work from the federal side and the private side. Let's talk about now what happens when you guys go into the college and your students in school. First thing you want to do, basically before I even decide a college to deposit at, first thing I'm doing is I'm asking the admissions office and the financial aid office before I deposit at any college, do you have scholarships for continuing students? And you ask it exactly like that, by the way. When you ask a school, do you have scholarships for continuing students? What you're basically saying to them is, I know the money you're giving us now is not going to change. But in their second, third, or fourth year, are there possibilities either based on their major or the school they're in, the business school versus the liberal arts school within the college, etc.? Are there other scholarships out there set up by alumni that my student may be eligible for? Most of the time, these additional scholarships will require your student academically to be doing well, which usually means a 3.5 or higher 4.0 scale. Basically means they made the dean's list, is what it means. A lot of these schools nowadays, if your student does make the dean list, will provide them more scholarship opportunities if they're doing well academically. And I'd love to know this beforehand. So if my student does go off to that college, we know you got to get the 3.5. You got to get a 3.6. You got to get a 3.7 because that's going to keep reducing the cost for us. If you don't, then we're going to have an issue. Now, of course, you have to have that discussion with your student of what the expectations are from your side and their side. Now, in addition to the college providing additional scholarships, I'd also be looking at CapX, FastWeb, and Going Merry. Going Merry is probably my number 1 choice scholarships site right now. These sites all have scholarships for continuing students from basically they have scholarships starting from 6th grade all the way to PhD. You can get scholarships for PhD, master's, and for an 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade, sophomore in college. These sites are very helpful to try to find additional pockets of aid here to help you guys out. Now, let's say we figured everything out. We got the student in, we feel comfortable, we got the loan out of the way, we're doing the payment plan, everything's working out, academically they're doing good, we're going to get more scholarship money later on. How do we figure out as parents What's going to happen in years 2, 3, and 4? It's very simple. You go to that website down there, collegecost.edu.gov, net price calculator. That link below will bring you to this website here. And then what you will do is where it says beginning typing to search for schools, type into students' college where they want to go to. It will then give you the link for that college's net price calculator, which will allow you now to figure out essentially what the college cost will be for year 2, as well as what the college cost may be for year 3 from this perspective. When seniors, this year's senior class, 23, 24 senior class, when you guys fill out your FASA forms, you guys use, and your CSS and all the financial aid forms, you guys use your 2022 taxes, which means your 2023 taxes are going to show you guys what your colleges are able to do for you guys financially for year 2. Since we're in 24 right now, since we're a couple months into 24, almost 4 months into 24, you got a gauge of what your 24 tax is going to look like, which means you can also play with the numbers on the net price calculator and figure out for year 3, how do we look financially? These are the goals and the keys here, not just to figure out, did we get enough for this first year, and then can we appeal or not appeal financially because they're not giving us no money. This is to do that. Plus, this is to figure out year 2 and also project year 3 consideration from a financial aid perspective, scholarships, grants, so on and so forth. These are key for you guys to figure out multiple years, multiple levels of financial aid and cost consideration for you guys out there. Now, that being said, let's talk about the difficult conversation. If your student was rejected this year, there's literally no chance they're going to get in to that same college. There has been times in the past where students, if they have been rejected, they can ask the admissions office for additional consideration, either based on new test scores, first half grades of senior year coming in, or other consideration. But this year, it's near impossible because of the fact that the competition level this year is astronomical. I mean, just using Rutgers as an example, state school here in New Jersey, Rutgers received over 100,000 applications. That has never happened. They've never even come close to that number. I'm talking about the record number of applications this year was tens of thousands more applications than they've ever received. So it's not like 1,000 more, 2,000. It's tens and tens of thousands more. Schools like NYU, over 100,000. The UC programs, all over 100,000 in applications. So there's virtually no chance if you got rejected, do an appeal and try to push it to get in. Now, if you've been waitlisted, what that basically means is you're in a holding pattern to see if anything opens up. Now, the problem with waitlisted right now is that you might not be notified from your waitlisted schools in some cases until maybe July or August, because most of these schools, unfortunately, are still trying to figure out the accepted students' financial aid packages. So this year it's going to be pushed back very far back, unfortunately, for many schools because they don't even know who is going to be depositing from the students who've already been accepted because no one has financial aid packages yet. And those people that do are very few and in between. Now, if you've been deferred, you're kind of still in the game from this perspective. If you were deferred because you did early action or early decision into the regular pool, you're still in the running right now, mainly because so many colleges have so many applications and they do look at the early decision and early action students before they look at the regular students because of the fact you guys took an earlier approach to the acceptance of trying to get in. Now, if you did early decision, it does give you a little bit of a leg up at a lot of these colleges if you did ED1 or ED2 because they realize that it was your top choice or your second top choice. And if you did get into a regular pool, you're a lot more likely to go there than just somebody else who's applying regular pool. So that's kind of where everything is happening right now. Projections, virtually no chance. Waitlisted, it's going to be lots of delays, unfortunately. And maybe you get in, maybe you don't. It might not be till July or August. Deferrals, I think you guys still have a chance here because of the fact that there's so many applications out there and so many people are basically, I guess you can call it, in a weird way, kind of like pigeonholed into a giant waiting pool because no one knows what the financial situation is right now. Now, all that being said, let's talk legal forms. Now, for this, I actually have videos on this thing, these two items specifically, because they're a lot more in depth than I want to go into today, because I don't want to keep you guys here just for half an hour on this, because it's a big topic for both these things. Now, the FERPA form is a form you all need to get done through either the enrollment office or the admissions office at the college your student is going to. Some schools do the FERPA form through the records office. Some of them have it all together. The billing office, the records office, and the enrollment office are all the same department. But if you go to enrollment or if you ask admissions, where can we fill out the FERPA form? They'll let you know. The FERPA form is the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. It basically what it is it's your student signing off that anyone they want to, i.e., the parent, can ask any questions they want of the college of that student. If you don't do the FERPA, you can't get any information in that college legally. And what I mean by legally, I mean if you call a school and ask for students' billing information because you want to pay the bill, the college legally is not supposed to tell you. They do it out of courtesy because they realize most parents are paying the bill. But realistically, legally, the student's information, academically, financially, and everything else, is not supposed to be provided to anyone unless the FERPA form has been signed and filled out with that person's name, granting them access at the college. But I'm getting the FERPA form done not just so I can get the billing information, but also I can get the academic information. With the FERPA form in place, I can call that school's academic center and ask for that student's academic advisor, which is basically like their guidance counselor in college, and ask them, what's their GPA? How many college credits do they have? Are they going to class? Because most of these schools keep track of this information. The reason you can ask these things is because their academic advisor can tell you these things if your name's on the FERPA. If your name is not on the FERPA, they can't tell you anything, unfortunately. The second important form is called the Hippa form, the Health Insurance Probability and Accountability Act. This form is allowing you medical access to your student if anything happens, unfortunately. Like they're incapacitated, they can't basically say something to a doctor, what needs to happen. You can make decisions if that form is in place. Both these forms here, I have specific videos for both these forms because it's very important. These two legal forms are extremely important on the YouTube channel. So if you watch the YouTube channel, I explain to you guys how to get both these done in a proper way so you can get your students covered from a medical perspective as well as an academic and billing perspective. Now, all that being said, I know this is a lot. And I know we're at the tail end. We're like at the finish line here, the gold line before we get over the hump here and send our kids off to college. If you guys still need more help, I am once again, I know some of you guys already do this, but I am still doing the monthly newsletter where I'm telling you guys everything that happens every month. In the newsletter, I talk about testing, I talk about loan stuff, I talk about financial aid stuff, admissions, I talk about everything. So if you still need help on that side, make sure to sign up for the newsletter. Once again, all you need to do is just email me, letting me know what grade level you're in. Obviously, this is a senior program here video. So I'm doing it for seniors for 23, 24, going into freshman year, 24, 25. But obviously, if you watch and get the newsletter, you know every month I'm telling you guys what you need to be working on. Now, when it comes to this whole process for seniors, especially since we're getting close to the deadlines for everything here, depositing and figuring out where you want to go, you got to talk to your kid. You got to talk to students. You got to make and understand the fact that they do listen to you. I know you're probably thinking, what are you talking about, Ed? They never listen to us. They listen to you. And you guys are the guardrails in some cases to make sure not only do they stay on track of what they need to be doing, but they don't fall into the trappings or the ridiculousness of some of these colleges, the cost of them, the amount of loans and everything else. You can stop them from taking on crazy debt, which I'm seeing every year for a lot of these colleges, because reality is, if you've been to my other presentations, you know for the last 20 something years I've been doing this, I say the same thing. Every college is exactly the same. There is no difference. I know that people say, well, Newsweek and rankings and this and that, they're all the same. There is no difference. They all provide the same opportunities. The only difference is some of them cost a reasonable, affordable cost, and others are life-crushing debt load amount colleges. Just something to think about. So you obviously know better than your students do what it really means to make $100,000 a year. Because I've talked to students, good, bad, or different, who think I'm going to graduate from whatever college and make 100,000, which doesn't really happen. But even if it does happen, if you have 100,000, 150, 200,000 plus in debt, your $100,000 salary doesn't add up very much, unfortunately. So just things to think about. Now, all that being said, if you do need help, if you do need assistance, on the screen is my contact information. Obviously, if you guys see my other presentations or you've been to the live presentations or the Zoom presentations I do all the time, you guys already know that's my cell phone number. The easiest way to reach me is just texting. Texting me is the fastest way to reach me. I answer text messages all day long. You can also email me. This is the second fastest way. I usually get back a text within a day, emails within 2 days. I don't think I've checked my voicemail in about 2 weeks. So if you leave a voicemail, I wouldn't do that. Just text me. I text back very quickly. I never answer the phone usually because I'm usually inundated right now, especially with parents helping them out with FAFSA issues or appeals right now, or I'm doing other stuff. So with the colleges, consulting them or helping out the high schools and guidance office with very complicated cases. So it's very difficult to get me on the phone, near impossible. But if you text me, I literally text you back every day, all day long.